Good, y'all. Look, I'm gonna keep this one short because I just tried shooting a bunch of other videos and I'm kind of tired, to be honest with you. So look, I want to make a quick video about negotiation and making win-win scenarios. All right, win-win scenarios is something that's commonly talked about in negotiation, but I don't feel like people give it its due respect necessarily. You know, they're like, you got to try to find the win-win scenario or win-win situation, but it's never really explained to you, I guess, how you do that, or if they do, it's just boring as fuck. You know, the short of it is that everyone needs to be willing to play. Okay, not everyone's willing to play a win-win type of game. You know, a lot of people come up on business or any interaction with other people is supposed to be win-lose or lose-win. Like one of us is gonna win, one of us is gonna lose from this negotiation. All right, that's how a lot of people look at negotiation. And to be honest, that's how negotiation is 80% of the time. It's one person trying to sell you something and the other person trying to sell you something else. And neither one of them really are interested in working with each other. But if you're in a position where you can create a win-win situation, like you can genuinely create a win-win situation, that is your biggest opportunity to come up in life. Okay? Win-win situations make sense to everyone involved. And the reason they make sense is because everyone involved sat down to figure out what makes sense to them. Win-win situations aren't compromise as much as cooperation. All right? When you're compromising, you're kind of giving away certain things. When you're in, compromise is almost like tolerance. Like, what are you willing to tolerate? Like, are you willing to tolerate, not having this or not getting that, and we can figure something else out as compensation almost for you tolerating this. Win-win situations are more like, if you do this, I guarantee you'll do better than any other situation. You're really showing someone why your option is the best option for them and you, but for them first and foremost. And that requires you to do a lot of research. All right, you have to know the intentions and motivations of the person that you're dealing with fully and honestly. Okay, the building that I'm sitting in right now, that I'm talking to you guys in right now, it took me 6 months of negotiating this deal. 6 months of negotiating this deal because I created a win-win situation where the seller was able to get all of the money that he was asking for, and I was able to buy basically $1 million property without a dollar out of my pocket. Everyone involved in the deal was able to win, but it took 6 months. 6 months, okay, of me sitting down, full-time work, trying to figure out with this person, how can we structure a deal together so that both of us win? And eventually I was able to do it. And that's not because I'm some genius or anything like that, but it's because I took the time to sit down and try to figure out and truly understand what are the intentions and motivations behind this other party. I have this dude, the guy who sold me this building, I have his phone number saved in my phone. Okay? Now, whether I personally like him or not is a question for another day. Me and him were talking on at least a weekly basis, meeting up multiple times, trying to figure this out. Texting back and forth. Win-win situations require everyone to cooperate. Okay? Not compromise, but cooperate. A win-win situation is an orchestra that you're playing. I was gonna say an orchestra that you're orchestrating. It's a symphony that you're orchestrating. Like, it's so intricate because you're piercing at the true intentions and motivations behind people. And a lot of times you think it's one thing when it's really something else. And I promise you, the slightest deviations in intention and motivations make a world of a difference. Okay? The slightest differences in intentions and motivations make a world of a difference. You can tell a lot of times. When you guys hop on the phone with someone, if they're trying to sell you something, you're able to tell. You're like, yo, why do I feel like this dude's trying to sell me something? Or imagine you call up your company, you call up some company, you say, hey guys, I don't have the money to pay you, right? The company will come back and be like, well, this is the best that we can do. And they'll give you some sort of offer. In that instance, the person you're speaking to on the phone most likely isn't trying to create a win-win situation, okay? And this is why I was saying you really have to understand intentions and motivations. And not just that, you have to understand more so than that, leverage. And this is gonna get maybe too deep for this. I might make a part 2 to this one, because leverage is about understanding what's at stake, okay? And for you to figure out what's at stake, you have to really understand, number 1, yourself, and number 2, who you're dealing with. But if you don't have a very strong grasp of yourself and what you want, then you will never create a win-win situation, because you won't fully understand the leverages that are at stake. What is leverage? So if you call up a company, say you owe them money, say I owe you $5,000, and I call you up and I say, hey, I don't have the money to pay you, and you say, hey, let's see what we can do, and it's not even you who answers, your assistant who answers the phone, and she's like, let's see what we can do. The best I can do is I can reduce your payment. And I'm like, hey, listen to me, like, I really don't have any money right now. Like, I promise I'm gonna, make my payment, and just gotta skip this month, right? And she's like, well, the best I could do is, pay half of it. In that instance, and we'll waive the late fee, all right? In that instance, what are the leverages? What's at stake, right? Their money is at stake. I already have their money. So it's really your money that's at stake. I'm not losing out on anything besides my credit and my reputation. If you guys go back to those videos that I was talking about, credit is your credit is your reputation. I'm gonna lose out on my reputation, but I already have your money. So I have something that you want. So you actually need to work with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna create a win-lose scenario for you, or else you'll never loan me money again. But I need to be firm, right? Or as the kids call it these days, like, you gotta have big dick energy and understand what you're working with, so that you're not run up on and people aren't getting the better half of you. If I owe you money, then you need to work with me so I can pay you back your money. That's kind of what it is. So you don't want to be, like I said, an asshole and put yourself in a situation where this person is never going to loan you the money again. And that delicate balance between the two, between understanding that I have your money, but I want you to continue loaning money to me, is when you're going to create a win-win situation. Once you sit there and you actually think like, hey, you owe me money, or I owe you money, but I also want to continue borrowing from you. And I understand what's at stake for you, and I understand what's at stake for me. So why don't you let your boss, because you're the assistant, remember I was talking to the assistant on the phone, have your boss give me a call, so like me and him can, or her, whatever, like him, I'm not even going to be PC on this shit, like me and him can figure out some shit. All right, and we can try to work something out that's to both of our advantages, because he wants me to pay this back, and I want him to continue lending me money. Okay? That's how you create win-win situations. You have to, on a very deep level, number 1, realize what's at stake. Realize the leverage that's at play. Realize what you want. And even more importantly, you have to understand the intentions and motivations behind the person that you're working with. All right? That's how you're able to create win-win situations. It's not just something that magically happens. It's not an opportunity oh, I found a win-win opportunity. You create win-win opportunities by truly understanding everything that's at play. Thank you guys. I appreciate you watching this video. Let me know what else you guys want to talk about down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and all that shit. Thank you. Peace out.